Welcome to Monkey C,
Monkey Review.
where we're going to be continuing with Star Wars Visions, Episode 7, The Elder. What'd you think?
It was a pretty cool episode. It was one of the shorter episodes for the series, but I enjoyed it. It was probably in my top 4 out of this series.
This was, I agree, it was a good episode. It was also done by the Studio Trigger, which did the episode The Twins.
Which is also another shorter episode.
Yeah. Completely different styles.
Yes.
Very different styles. I knew that there was 2 companies that did 2 episodes each. I did not think it was Trigger until I started looking into all the stuff this week. And I was just like, oh, okay, wow. So, cool story.
Yep.
Good characters. Very interesting because this is definitely set in more of the era of the High Republic. Mm-hmm. Because they make the statement that it's been a couple of 100 years since they've seen a Sith.
Yep.
So that's the general time frame that we're looking at. So it's very interesting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, did you really get into this one?
Yeah, it was one of the better ones. Like I said, it was shorter, which helped. But you bring in a Sith, and you have a couple of duels, which was really cool. Mm-hmm. And just his mentality too was, as the Elder, the Sith, who's no longer a Sith.
Yes.
Technically, he knew that no, these guys were too worried about power and things like that. They basically eliminated themselves. So I'm no longer a part of that creed and religion. But it was very interesting. His whole mindset was just finding somebody powerful enough to duel.
Yeah.
And that's what he's lived for, basically. And it's been a long time since I found somebody that was as powerful as me in the Force.
Yeah.
Because you start the episode, they're out there, they're in their ship, flying through space in the Outer Rim.
Dan the Padawan and his Jedi Master.
Yep. And
exploring the Outer Rim.
But the Master apparently is well known as far as his exploratory
of the Outer
Rim and his knowledge and things like that of that. And then this mission that they're going on was postponed until he decided, no, I'll go instead.
Yeah.
And then the council said, well, since it's you, basically, we'll let you do it.
We trust you.
We trust you, basically, yeah. So they're flying through space in the Outer Rim, and then all of a sudden he feels a disturbance in the Force.
Yeah.
So they end up dropping out of hyperspace, and he said, well, there's only one planet here, and I don't feel it anymore, so we're going to go there, which is very interesting because both the Elder and the Master both sensed each other, but the Padawan could not.
Right.
So, the Elder's been looking for somebody to duel, travel through the galaxy, and finally senses somebody close enough by.
Yeah.
And then, hey, let's do this thing.
Yeah. Let's find a planet. Let's go to town.
Yep.
So, we meet Dan, which is the Padawan. We meet the Jedi Master. I don't think they ever gave his name in the episode. I watched it probably 3 times this week, and I never picked up on it. So, anyway, they just refer to him as Master. They land on a planet that he's actually explored before. He said, I've actually been here several times.
Yeah.
And the Padawan is very eager to essentially grow up. You get that vibe, and he's just like, leave it to my master. He's like, I'm so excited to be your Padawan. You're the greatest. And, just fanboying over his Jedi Master.
Well, that was also sarcasm at that point, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend you didn't say that.
Right. So there was a lot of... So they land on the planet. The Master goes and talks to the people of the village. The Padawan actually makes friends with the children of the village.
Yep.
And the Master's like, oh, that's really impressive. And, they're a very secluded bunch. They don't really make friends very easily. Yep. And then find out that the Elder, which was the Sith, has landed his shuttle near the village. And Master is like, well, let's go to the ship. Padawan's like, well, no, why don't we split up? They said that he went into the mountains. Let me go into the mountains because I'm better with mountain, traversing and things like that, and you're better with ships. And Master's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, because at first he's like, are you just saying this because you're more likely to run into him? Because he wants to duel. He wants to fight the Sith. He feels like he can do that.
Yeah. He's very arrogant.
Very, very. And, then he says, it's because I'm better at the mountains and you're better at the ships. So let's divide and conquer, basically, the best man for the task. Mm-hmm. And, fitting,
right, sure.
Padawan, still learning from his master. Mm-hmm. And, there's trust there too.
Yes.
From master to Padawan. So he lets him do it.
He's got to give him some wings. Basically. Give him some, a little chance to try to prove himself. So, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, but it's very interesting because even the master said, I haven't felt that disturbance again since we've landed on the planet. And then the Padawan makes reference, well, maybe he left. Well, no, he must be close because he must have sensed me too. So now he's shielding himself from me.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. And we get into a lot more of that play in the lore of it because we don't get to see a lot of that in the movies because they cover a lot of that up. But it's a lot in the extended universe and the books and things like that that you can feel the presence of other people and you can shield yourself and whatnot. So it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan, the apprentice, goes into the mountains with the children of the village, and they find the carcass of one of the wilder wolf beasts in the area. He calls Master, and he's like, "Hey, I found one of these beasts. It's been killed," and he's just like, "No, that shouldn't be
cleanly sliced too. So the only way that would happen would be with a lightsaber,
right." So
he sends the children away.
And he's like, he turns around and tells the kids, "Y'all need to go home."
Yeah. So then he's going to find.
He's going to go ahead and keep looking around, see what he can find. And, of course, he finds the elder. Short, little old man.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very Asian stylized because we're dealing with anime. So there's going to be a lot of that, which was really cool. I liked it because, we've not seen a Sith look like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in the other episodes, this is still a very unique take.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, he challenges him. He's like, okay.
But he already knows at the beginning of that this is not the
one he
Jedi
sends.
that he sent.
Yes.
So he's like, well, if I kill you, then your master will come and maybe I can finally fight somebody that's worthy of my talent.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And then, Dan was like, well, that's kind of an insult.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be as easy as you to defeat as this, carcass over here. But
yeah, I mean, one hit and like Dan was kind of down. I mean, it was
a pretty quick battle.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. I mean, it was few
Yeah.
interactions
there
with
was
the
a
blades.
couple of exchanges, and then Dan's on the ground.
But his master also sent that the fight was about to begin, and he's already making his way up the
Yes.
mountain. So you just have a sense of like the master is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
For a Jedi, but he's also very humble.
Yeah.
In his power and things like that. Dan eventually gets cut down.
Yep.
Doesn't die though.
Doesn't die. They give you the impression he's dead.
They do give the impression, but then you see that okay, he's still alive.
Right.
So it must have been a graze
Yeah.
with the blade and not a full slice.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was
Not
interesting.
full contact.
Yeah, not full contact, but enough to wound the Padawan.
Right.
But leave him alive, or his master would still come for him.
Right.
Basically, essentially.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Bait.
Yeah, exactly. That's
It's bait.
exactly what it was. And so Master shows up. The Elder and the Master start to, display their abilities, and the Master really is able to handle the Elder pretty well. Disarms. He has two lightsabers. Knocks one free, or knocks one from the Elder.
Cuts it in half.
Slices it in half. Can't use it. Then the Elder automatically goes to the old Sith, bag of tricks and starts using Force Lightning.
And even the masters were like, okay, this technique. It's got to be, Sith origins or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And then eventually, the Padawan actually does help.
Yeah.
And distracts the Elder for just a split second.
Yep. Long enough for the Master to move in for the final kill.
Deactivates the blade.
Yep.
Goes in close and then reactivates it on his chest.
Yep.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. And then he disintegrates.
Yep.
He we've not seen a Sith do that, but his body literally just turns to ash.
And then his ship exploded.
Explodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to hide all traces of him actually being out there.
Yep. It's very interesting.
It was very interesting.
And then
essentially that's the bulk of the story right there. And then of course, they help Dan, they go back to the ship, they leave the planet. That's pretty much the sum of it.
Well, the Master's talking to Dan, and Dan's like, he was very powerful, but you were more powerful. He said, well, I think if I'd met him when he was younger, that outcome may have been different. But it wasn't the fact that I was more powerful than him. It was the fact that his body could not handle the power anymore. It was his age. And with the universe, even with great power, at some point your body will no longer be able to handle it. It's just like me. I'm getting older.
Yeah.
I'm powerful, yes, but at a certain point, I'm not going to be able to do as much because my body won't be able to handle it. And you're younger, so you should be able to, grow in power.
Yeah. So very strong passing the torch kind of moment.
Yes.
Like, hey, you're not there yet, but keep training, keep working towards it, and you will.
Because eventually I will not be,
Right.
the dominant one.
Right.
You would be able to surpass me.
Yep.
If I'm doing my job right as a mentor.
Yeah.
That's like the whole gist of it. I think, power isn't everything, and power is not always eternal.
Right.
At some point, you won't be able to handle it anymore.
Right. So good episode. I liked it. For me, it was a really fun one because we get to see, again, some different stylized. We actually get like a idea of where we're falling in a timeline.
Yes.
So we get to see an era that we don't normally see in Star Wars. Like, we're covering a lot of stuff in the High Republic right now, but that's only 200 years before this. This is a long way back. This is a lot further back than the new stories. So good episode, solid, probably in my top 3.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably number 3.
Probably the same with you there.
Yeah. Definitely top 5, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So. But anyways, what do you score?
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
4.5?
Yeah, it's quick,
liked
it's to the point.
Yeah.
And had some nice duels in it.
Yeah, they didn't put a lot of stuff in there that was just filler. They didn't put a lot of stuff in there just to, drag it out.
It was very.
It was very direct to the point and very good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I'll go with you. 4.5.
Yeah.
Definitely worth watching.
Yep, definitely.
So, anything else you want to contribute, my friend?
No, that's it, man.
All right. So, do us a favor. Hit the like button.
Subscribe.
Leave some comments. Tell us where you ranked this one because, let's be honest, we're all sitting there ranking them in our heads.
Yeah, like we know, like I'm gonna watch this one again. I probably won't watch that one unless I'm just really bored.
Yeah. So, unless my little boy walks in, he's like, I want to watch the one with the rabbit, which we'll be covering next week.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's watch the one with Flop. Or Tatooine Rhapsody. I'm like, all right, let's rock out one more time, buddy.
Yep.
But love you guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.